Morning, Stephen. I just wonder how you've learnt over the last few years about balancing the demands of this particular spell of the season when you've got so many games through the course of the week and so many important games.
I think it's just treating each game in isolation. Obviously, we've put big effort into last night's games with no reward. So I think today is a case of picking the boys up and getting them recovered, because the Motherwell game comes on us pretty quickly. So, I've just been in the doctor's room for an update in terms of who could be a doubt or who's out of the weekend, and seeing what we've got available, getting them recovered today, training the boys who weren't involved, and then tomorrow we'll go tactically into the Motherwell game. So it happens pretty quick. The games are taken fast. I think it's 3 games in 6 days. So we've got no time to dwell. We need to move on pretty fast.
Before I move on, I suppose I should ask you what the doctors said to you then.
Well, we've certainly got a problem with Ryan Kent. He'll be sent for a scan. Today we'll know the extent of the injury. Probably late afternoon or early evening, but he's obviously going to be out at the weekend. And if the doctor's prediction is right, he could miss a few weeks, but we'll know more this evening. We've also got Alfredo Morelos with a bit of a tight hamstring. Obviously not on Ryan Kent's level. We might send him for a picture as well, just to be sure on that one. So Alfredo's a doubt as well. Besides that, everyone else seems to have come through okay.
Has Ryan been playing with something over the course of the last few weeks or not? He's not quite hit the heights he set last season, albeit they were quite high.
No, I think Ryan had a rest in the international break and has come back. He trained well in the week. I don't think he's been carrying any problem that's got worse. I think this is just an isolated incident. You could see clearly that he's pulled up with something. Hopefully it's not as bad as it looked. And the good thing is, in the next few weeks, if it is a hamstring injury, that might be 3 to 4 weeks, which they normally are. We obviously got an international break in that period to try and get him ready, but I think he'll definitely be missing for a few weeks if the doctor's prediction's right.
Hi Stephen, you mentioned last night you didn't think the squad had hit top gear yet. I was just wondering, in your eyes, what do you think is maybe missing, or what is stopping the guys from reaching that level?
I think having everyone fit and available and in top form, that's a manager's perfect scenario. But for different reasons, and these are not excuses, just for different reasons, it doesn't feel like, or I don't feel like, I've had a real settled squad with everyone in a good place and available, so we can really pick our strongest team and try and get some rhythm. And repeat teams. It seems like we're, with COVID, with injuries, with suspensions, with people arriving late, we found that really difficult, but it is what it is. We have to deal with that, and hopefully in due course we can get a real settled team and squad and people fit and available. But again, last night it looks like we're going to miss Ryan for a few weeks, so it's another frustration for us.
Yourself and Tavernier both mentioned last night about the need for belief maybe up front, or that killer instinct. Is that maybe a surprise, considering what they achieved last season, that's maybe missing this first part of this season?
Well, look, I think that's what you always strive for, especially at a club like Rangers, but you've also got to take into consideration the level of player and the level of team you're up against. Lyon are not just going to let us be gung-ho and play with fantastic style and create all kinds of top chances, so it looks great on the eye. We're playing against top teams and top players. We tried and we pushed and we created some real decent half chances in the game, but for us to get to the next stage, we need to be better in the final third. So that's the reality on how it looked last night. But over the course of the season, we've got more than enough tools in our armoury to score goals, and on the back of that, hopefully that brings us success.
You mentioned last week after the match at St Johnstone that it's squads that win you titles. Coming up for, as you say, so many games back into this kind of Thursday-Sunday routine, is this a chance for the squad to really show the depth of the quality that's in it?
Well, I think I've got no choice, because there's no guarantees that I can pick Alfredo come the weekend. Ryan is a certainty to be out. So we sort of have to roll from game to game. And for me, I think with COVID always in the background, it's very difficult to predict. You have to almost wait till the last minute before you can confirm a team. We're still testing obviously a couple of times a week. And with the injuries that we've got at the moment, it's very difficult to find that rhythm and that settled team that I'm looking for. So I think the squad, even more so than the previous 3 years, is going to be more important come the end of the season, because it seems like the team's going to be changing an awful lot more, and that's not going to be down to just rotation. It's going to be down to COVID and injury issues as well.
And in terms of Sunday, it's obviously Flag Day, which is a big day for the fans, but for the players, it's a case of shutting that noise out and just concentrating on getting the job done.
Yeah, I think the fans deserve that moment. Unfortunately, it couldn't be at the beginning of the season. We've had to be patient, but I think it's all about the fans enjoying that. They deserve it. We're really pleased for them that they can enjoy that. We'll obviously be aware of it, and we'll respect it, of course. But for me, the key thing from the weekend is to try and take 3 points. Simple as that.
One of the journalists last night mentioned John Lundstrom. He claimed that the crowd was getting in John's back. I see in today's papers there's a full-page article which is not entirely complimentary. However, last night I thought, especially after Davis went off, that Lundstrom kind of stepped into the space, dominated the space, was quite aggressive. When he was signed, much was made of his defensive qualities. But have you seen something in Lundstrom which makes you want to develop him with his attacking qualities?
I think John's capable of both. I've not read the article. I obviously heard a couple of moan and groans, but that wasn't just directed at John. I think that was a frustration just because we couldn't really find the cutting edge in the final third. That's normal. So I don't take no noise of any outside noise. I thought it was John's strongest game. I thought he got stronger when he moved into the middle of the pitch. I thought he grew into the game, and it's probably, in my opinion, his strongest performance over the 90 minutes for us. So I take no notice of any groans, and I certainly don't take any notice of anyone who writes an article. That's absolute nonsense.
In terms of the game last night, the Lyon coach was pretty complimentary towards Rangers, and he said that one of your great strengths that he'd warned his team about was that you'd been able to develop the squad over the last number of years. In terms of your additions to the squad this summer, did you get exactly what you wanted, or are there a few unfinished bits of business? We
made the most of what was available. That's all I can say on that. In terms of what the Lyon coach said, he's someone I've got the utmost respect for. We've played against two of his teams. I think Leverkusen was some time ago, but I felt on the side there was a real big gulf in class. It felt that way from the side, and over the both games, I think we were dominated and controlled for the majority of both 90 minutes. I felt last night that we took huge strides. I thought we at times looked a good team. We were more than a match for Lyon. Okay, they got the both goals, one each half, coming off the back of our two mistakes, if you like. But I didn't see that gulf, and I did feel like we were competitive. And I do see Lyon on a similar level to a Leverkusen, you know, two Champions League team who've gone to the latter stages of the Champions League in the last 3-4 years. So I don't feel the same this morning as I did after Leverkusen. So for me, that's progress. But at the end of the day, we lost 2-0. We're at Rangers. We need to react and bounce back at the weekend. That's my fair assessment of the game.